Let's go down to Jerome's. So, of course, we know that JJ McCarthy's development is heavily contingent on head coach Kevin O'Connell, his tutelage, his coaching, his play calling, his quarterback whispering, all that stuff, right? So, it's pretty obvious. A quarterback is going to be dependent on his offensive play caller, on his quarterback mentor, all that stuff, right? So, everything's good to go. And Kevin O'Connell, the freaking quarterback whisperer, man, right? And JJ McCarthy is an absolute sponge. But also, there's another coach on staff, not even offensive staff, that is going to be extremely paramount to JJ McCarthy's development, and that is Brian friggin' Flores. So Brian Flores, the best defensive coordinator in the game. Glad that he's here with the Vikings. It's unfortunate that he hasn't gotten another crack to be a head coach, but it sort of is what it is. But him in year 3 with this defense, just coming back, and it's revenge, right? So it's just a revenge on the league by building up the number 1 defense in the National Football League. But Flores' presence and just him being him is also going to be a big part of the development of J.J. McCarthy. Long story longer, Kevin Seifert, ESPN, wrote up a piece today. Mainly it was supposed to be about how Justin Jefferson being OTAs affects McCarthy, but it morphed into how McCarthy versus the defense and Flores is also going to be a huge part of it. This is what Kevin Seifert, who's not Cargo Schmidt, wrote. That's something the Vikings defense will help accelerate. If Tuesday snapshot is any indication, a few periods after Murphy forced the interception. All right, so in 7-on-7, Flores brought the heat, and then Murph got an interception off Ivan Pace Jr. Tip. He blitzed and came free off the edge, seemingly surprising McCarthy as he swiveled into the pocket. This time McCarthy reacted quickly and checked down to an open receiver. So Flores is out here, first OTA of the offseason, sending corner blitzes on 7-on-7. Whew, I love this man. I love this man. Darnold said last year that his spring and summer work against the Vikings defense had left it much easier to see the field against the team's early opponents. O'Connell recalled him saying, they're just kind of standing out there versus what we see every single day in practice. And Flores, you practice how you play. And Flores is one of the most disguise-heavy defenses out there, and you don't know what's going to happen from snap to implementation, especially if you're dropping back play action. So you see one thing before the snap, you turn your back, carry out your fake, you turn around and see a completely different defense. It's great, man. Also, you're likely going to be facing a blitz, and also Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel looking to sandwich you, meet you at the quarterback. It's good. In 2023, Kirk Cousins, the Vikings starter at the time, noted the difficulty of practicing the team's offensive plays against a defense as unpredictable as Flores' blood concluded. All in all, it's been good for our development as a player and as an offense. Also, McCarthy, notably before the Raiders preseason game last year, talked about how it's going to be nice to go up against a defense that isn't Flores'. So he's absolutely right there as well. Then McCarthy seems headed towards a similar assessment. Just being able to go against that scheme, he said, you can't get that anywhere else, and just being able to see that every single day, it's extremely invaluable. McCarthy has taken special notice of veteran safety Harrison Smith, who earlier this spring praised McCarthy for being a little smarter beyond his years. McCarthy smiled and said he didn't want to give away all of Smith's secrets, but he did reveal that he has noticed Smith trying to bait us into things by directing his heads and eyes in the opposite way he intends to move. So also that's a big time part of it too. Is like you got veterans like Harrison Smith, you have veterans like Josh Metellus. You got Byron Murphy Jr., Grenard, AVG, Cashman is like Harrison Phillips. Like they all got their stuff. And JJ McCarthy certainly is not shy about picking the brain of defensive players. And notably, he's definitely not shy about picking the brain of Flores as well. And there's a couple things here. So how Flores will help McCarthy. So these live reps, OTAs, and training camp. So in OTAs and training camp, you're just playing each other. Like you're just implementing your scheme. There isn't any opponent-specific game planning involved, or even before preseason games. Like you're not game planning per se for your opponent. You want to see how you look in your scheme, and it's completely different than during the season, because during the season it's a lot less ones versus ones. There's some, but then they break up very quickly into ones versus the practice squad, defense and or offense. So and you're getting ready for that specific opponent. But OTA's training camp, it really is a chest stomping contest, best versus best. And Flores' defense is complex. It's one of the most complex in the National Football League. And also, like we said, veterans on D to implement that complexity, because you can have the greatest scheme ever, but if you don't have players to execute it, it's worth that, and $7 will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Now, isn't that depressing? Anyways, also he does run the most disguise-heavy defense in the National Football League, and he's able to do that because of those veterans out there. The communication to hold, not give away tells, and hold your bluffs, and not give away the game beforehand, and also finding your landmarks, getting to your spots after the snap. It's really contingent on players that have been there, done that, as well as great communication on the back end. Also, Flores is never going to baby a quarterback. So I love that old school mentality. It's just like, hey, I used to go up against Tom Brady every single day, and we threw the kitchen sink at him, and he never complained. You don't complain either. We're bringing it, because I'm trying to make you better. I'm trying to make my defense better, which is my job. So go after it. Also, this is going to force JJ to process fast, and that's something that's he did at Michigan, and something that carries on to the National Football League. And as we said, having all of those VR reps, from Darnold in practice and OTA's training camp last year, up against the Flores defense, where Darnold, it's one of the big reasons why Darnold had a good season last year, despite a not so great interior offensive line, is that he faced that Flores defense. Like he practiced every single day against one of the best defenses in the NFL and one of the most aggressive and complex defenses, and it only made him better throughout the year. Also, McCarthy's going to help Flo as well, because McCarthy's not just going to sit back there and take it. Also, Kevin Connell obviously is going to adjust if needed, and Flo gets to see the steps in the chess games. Okay, if we do this, they'll do that. If we do this, they'll do that. And especially against a young quarterback with some mobility and ability to get rid of the ball quick, and also hose for an arm, it's going to help everyone out. So this really is an iron sharpens iron situation. So I think that the Vikings, it's a great situation. And of course, we're never going to undersell the relationship between McCarthy and Kevin Connell. That's something that can stack up for 10, 12, 15 years. But, Flo might be gone after this year. Flo might be around for 5 years and really build up and become the best defensive mind in the game. But either way, just very blessed for every single day, every single way that we get this iron-on-iron situation, because it's going to make everyone better. It's fantastic. But your thoughts are thoughts. How Brian Flores will make JJ McCarthy that freaking dude, and vice versa. Let us know. Comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol. Production value.